Ponderosa is a unique foundation. What started as one man's vision for an inclusive and compassionate community has evolved over more than 2 decades into a way of life for its many participants. Welcome to Ponderosa, tourist attraction, rare species sanctuary, entertainment venue, a place for special events, and, more importantly, a caring environment for all who belong or visit here. When Howard Cook acquired Park Dairy Farm, it had been neglected for many years. With poor quality land, it had few prospects. Early on in the farm's redevelopment, Howard decided to provide opportunities in work experience for people with learning difficulties.
I'm a support worker at Ponderosa and I support all the adults with learning difficulties. My son's got learning difficulties and he came here as a service user, and I came as a volunteer, and initially I worked voluntary for 3 months and it was for a 3-day placement, but I loved it that much I came for 5 days, and then eventually I got on with staff. They enjoy being here, they're proud of what they do, and the staff team are absolutely fabulous, and it's just like being part of a big family.
They come here and it's work based. We learn them new skills, and if they've got skills what they've got when they come here, then we do our best to make sure that they keep them and promote them. They're not just them but the families as well.
Both my daughters have learning difficulties. I goes out of his way to help people like this, you know, and they seem to do a lot more for them than other people do, you know.
I've been to see what I was doing down at the Ponderosa, and it's just quite amazing the kind of care and love and important work he's doing down there.
In recent times, Ponderosa has played a role not only in the lives of those with special needs, but also young people in mainstream education and those identified as gifted and talented. By making available facilities to students and staff at neighbouring schools, Ponderosa is now an integral part of the learning of students pursuing vocational qualifications in land, farming and construction. It also provides teaching staff with valuable opportunities in continuing professional development. Jordan, just tell us how you came to meet Howard and how you came to be here.
Well, he came to my school when I was going through difficult times at school, and he's helped me out by giving me this placement and loads of different other opportunities.
The school were very concerned that obviously there was a great potential in him, but they didn't know where to start really. So I think from social services and the school teachers, who have been absolutely excellent, they rang us up to see if we could actually help him. So what we've agreed really that if he's got more days placement here now, he's here on his school holidays, and next year we'll offer him a proper apprentice training scheme in the moment, whatever he selects, wherever he wants, whether it's gardening, horticulture, whatever.
Despite its positive impact on the community and wider region, Ponderosa has never received any subsidy, grant or financial award. And whilst there are commercial elements to the development, such as the business park and the restaurant, these are facilities that have attracted and engaged new friends and supporters.
We decided to move to the Ponderosa. We came down and saw Howard, and the more we wandered around the place, the more we got a feeling of, I suppose, people that care. Because in this world there are a lot of people that don't really care, apart from themselves. And because of what our business does for a living, we are in the empathy business. And even though Howard was a builder, if you strip away the bricklaying person from Howard, you find somebody that's really caring and is trying to make an impression.
So what of the future? Ponderosa has a continuing commitment to bridge the gap between members of society. This commitment has inspired the thinking behind 2 new ambitious projects.
I was involved in the very early stages of establishing ABLE, setting it up in partnership with the Primary Care Trust from Wakefield. And we set that up in Lepton near Huddersfield as a drug rehab programme, using fish in a small fish farm as the catalyst for working with those that are very difficult to reach young people.
My role is to develop the projects that Graham passes to us with the involvement of young disadvantaged people, develop their skills and try and give them a future with sustainable jobs.
Able to really came about after Kirklees Council. After we moved to Wakefield, and Kirklees Council really wanted to replicate the scheme back into Kirklees and offered us this 10-acre site in Heckmondwike. And the intention was then to significantly increase the size of our fish farm and at the same time give a sort of very large area that we could use for community use. And that is a fishing lake with a nice cafe next to the Spen Valley Greenway. And then on the fish side, a nice fish hatchery with workshops and training centre.
Some of the projects we've got are hands-on from day one, others are a little bit more complicated. So it caters for a whole range of abilities of young people. But the beauty is that there's the possibilities of them developing their skills, developing as people, learning to interact with other people within a teammate situation. So it's vitally important on a lot of planes.
By regenerating the abandoned land on the Walkley Lane site into the Able 2 project, Ponderosa will create 8 zones offering exciting features, including a sustainable indoor fish farm and a floating cafe and visitor centre.
The site is split into 2. We've got the working end, and then the other side of the scheme is really very much the public side. It's alongside the Spen Valley Greenway, very busy greenway, and in between Huddersfield and Bradford there are no facilities on that cycle path. So what we're putting there is actually a cafe with toilets and things, and that will be open to all sort of local people. And it's specifically targeting those who haven't got a car. So cyclists, pedestrians, young mothers with pushing the babies and things, and the elderly. The lake's going to have a fishing platform which is teaching young people how to fish, and that's in partnership with the Environment Agency, so it's bringing other people in as well. And then as well as that, we've got another very innovative thing, which is a BMX track, and it's a BMX pump track, which is a very low impact scheme, but that's specifically designed for disabled riders. It's those with 3-wheel bikes, 4-wheel bikes for carrying wheelchairs and things. So it really is highly inclusive on disabled, able-bodied, young, old. And also another thing is that on the site, on the working end, we'll be growing food, that's fruit, vegetables, etc. Those we can supply on to other people in the community as well.
Right. And gaining access to the domes, how have the domes enhanced the quality and the nature of the Able 2 project?
Significantly is probably the key word to say, is that on the Able 2 site we've already got about a 10-fold increase in fish production capacity from what we have at the moment at our Wakefield site. So that was already a really big move for us. But then when the opportunity for the dome site comes up, all of a sudden we've got another 17-fold increase in capacity, in production capacity. So here you're really into really big things on carbon footprints, low food miles and all this sort of thing.
The completion of Able 2 and the domes will involve a social inclusion initiative, providing work opportunities for disadvantaged people from the region. Once operational, it is envisaged that there will be full-time work opportunities for 20 staff, as well as numerous training and work experience programs.
The young people are coming in, they're going to be developing skills in environments, in building techniques that are very, very new. So that's going to put them at the cutting edge and give them real opportunities to go forward for other schemes, not necessarily related to ABLE, possibly there's working on schemes for other people, private industries and also other councils.
Plans are also in place to create a continuing care retirement community, featuring 145 retirement cottages and a 50-bed residential care home. In 2004, the Department of Health described such communities as a comprehensive alternative to both sheltered housing and residential care, providing for a whole range of needs and individual circumstances.
Having enough water to run a fish farm on that dome site, what we need is to be able to collect as much rainwater as we can from the surrounding areas, and that's very difficult to do. The eco-village proposal enables that to happen, because the eco-village will have a water attenuation system the rainwater will be collected, that can be run down to help then establish or enable this fish farm to set up.
He's looking at a project which is on backland, which in principle I understand the council officers have supported, and it's a perfect partnership. You've got older people who love to get involved in caring for animals and helping out with people.
How did I get involved? Well, it started with asking me if I'd go into the museum. That was quite a while ago. I had nothing else to do, and it was a good opportunity for me to get out. Well, my interest is here and in the museum.
And I just wonder how he can keep it going without some enabling work, you know, and developers have got to stand on their own feet, but I think this is one where it does honestly need some help.
It looks excellent. It's the sort of place where I think I could go to.
Do you feel that the concerns that people have about it, about where it's being built, do you think those concerns are justified?
I have read of some of the concerns that people have about this development, but I honestly cannot see a problem with it. I know at one point, there was a query about accessibility from the development into town, but as far as I can see, it's probably the best served place for this transport into town. Facilities for people, anything you could want. It's all there. It looks good to me.
By profession, I'm an environmentalist, and what I always look at is the whole system approach. And if I look at that site, and as an environmentalist, I look at that site, very, very low biodiversity. It's got concrete tanks on it from a former sewage works. It's got a very sort of dilapidated quarry on it. So from biodiversity terms, it's very, very low. If we put an eco-village on there, and particularly homes for the elderly as well, the first thing that's going to happen is they're all going to plant flowers. And if we look, sort of common topic at the moment is about the impact on bees and the benefit we get with bees in urban areas where people want their flowers from spring to late autumn. From a bee perspective, that's very, very good. The water attenuation system brings on board a whole host of water systems which then increase massively the amount of biodiversity that will be on that site. So as an environmentalist, what I'm saying is that will significantly increase the biodiversity in that area.
At Ponderosa, where there was once nothing, there is now something. An area of dereliction and neglect has become a centre of activity and growth. Growth in all its forms. Economic growth, true, but personal growth and environmental growth too.
It's just quite amazing, the kind of care and love and important work he's doing down there.
Howard goes out of his way to help people like this, you know.
We have a philosophy that if we've got it, we'll share it, and that's part of how Ponderosa has grown today.
And it's just like being part of a big family.
Really, he's helped me out a lot, as Howard, and got me this placement.
Come in here, lift me up.
If you strip away the bricklaying person from Howard, you find somebody that's really caring and is trying to make an impression.
Ponderosa builds the bridges between peoples, between the urban and the rural, the young and the old, the natural and the developed, the gifted and those with special needs. It is a community for now and for the future.